Hello my beautiful friends and welcome back to my channel. This is Nova Gnome Creations and I'm Nova, and today we are going to be doing a crochet book look. So if you were interested in seeing a little bit more about this Crochet Creatures of Myth and Legends, 19 Designs, Easy Cute Critters to Legendary Beasts by Megan Lapp, the creator of Crafty Intentions. That is what we are going to be taking a look at today. Look at this absolutely beautiful dragon on the front, and you can see the front of this book. The whole outside, actually, the back too, is like this kind of mix between a hardcover and a soft cover. It's like this laminate, like laminated sort of material, like a thicker cover. So it's flexible and everything, but it's sturdy. Here is what the back looks like. It says gargoyles, griffins, and hippogriffs. Oh my. And here's a little peek of the type of stuff that you could find inside. So Megan Lapp does patterns outside of this book. I have not ever checked out her patterns outside of this book, but I have done a pattern out of this book, and when we get to that pattern during the book look, I'm going to show you what it looks like. I just finished it, so it's fresh in my mind. My feelings and thoughts and feedback and all that of what I think of the book is all fresh in my mind. So without further ado, here is the thickness of this beautiful book. And I'm just going to get into it. So the way that I like to do my book looks is I like to take pictures of the pictures, basically, so that I don't accidentally show you guys any of the pattern, but I can give you guys a really good look at what kind of stuff you can expect to find in this book. But I will look at the book a little bit with you and kind of talk about my opinions and thoughts so far about the book. So here is the first page. And there's no patterns on that page, so I went ahead and just showed it to you now. So there's something really cool about the way that this book is done. She does a lot of things that I've never seen anyone do before. So for example, here is one pattern, how they do it. And you'll see that you go to specific pages to find the specific things that you're going to make. So for example, for this particular pattern, you're going to make a front leg with a rounded foot, and you're going to find that on this page, whatever page number. They tell you what yarn color to make it in. So this particular pattern, you're going to use a main color and an accent color. Obviously, you pick what colors you want. It tells you how many that you need to make of each piece, and it tells you how much yardage it takes in yarn to make that piece. And so it's really cool the way that they set this up, because you're going to use these specific pieces to make more than one amigurumi. So you may use the dragon head for this pattern to make like 3 different things. I know there's a wyvern in here and stuff like that, and I bet you use the same head. I haven't actually looked to see which ones use the same pieces yet. But basically, it's really cool because they're kind of like building blocks that you can use to put together other pieces. So not only does that mean that each pattern in here, once you start making them, you're going to get a feel for them, and you're going to actually be making the same pieces sometimes. So you don't have to like learn a new, like whole new pattern every time. But it also means, I bet that you could kind of hodgepodge your own creations together using the different pieces, because she divides the book up into like small creations and larger creations. So all of the smaller creations pieces are like you can go to each one and they're all together, and like, you know, those are all for the small creations. So you could totally go through and hodgepodge your own together, like picking and choosing, like, okay, I'm going to make this wing, and I'm going to make these scales, and I'm going to make this belly, and kind of put together your own creation, which is really cool. I actually really like the way that that's set up with, you know, going to specific pages. And like I said, it tells you what yarn to use. For example, some of the pieces during the pattern of that part, it'll tell you like halfway through, okay, if you're making this particular amigurumi, switch to your accent color now. So it's pretty cool that they all kind of use the same pieces, but different colors and stuff. There are quite a few patterns in here, and I am very excited, honestly, for all of them. They look really good. She does a phenomenal job at having lots of pictures, lots of detail, lots of explanations. I actually learned some new skills from this book. She does things in a unique kind of interesting way with her increases and her decreases. So that can be a little bit confusing at first. I was a little bit confused at first when I came across for the first time, like for example, in a row, maybe I have 2 stitches currently and I'm going to be doing a single crochet, a decrease, and a single crochet. And I was like, I only have 2 stitches. How am I going to do that? Well, for example, she increases by making that decrease in the middle. So say you have these 2 stitches, you single crochet into this one, you decrease across this one, and then single crochet into this one, and then you end up with 3 stitches. And one of my subscribers, who is absolutely awesome, so thank you for pointing that out, Rena, she went and checked out Crafty Intentions YouTube page, and she actually has a bunch of videos for different techniques that she does, which I am going to be checking out because she is very skilled with like shaping amigurumi and just doing things that I haven't seen before. But I will say that this book is really easy to follow for the pattern that I've done, which was one of the smaller patterns. I do plan on doing one of the larger patterns soon. It was really easy to follow. The only thing that I got confused about for like a little bit of time before I kind of thought it out and was like, oh, okay, I get it, was the like decreasing to do an increase. But like I said, apparently she has all that stuff on her YouTube. So if you do get this book and find that confusing, I would check out her YouTube channel. Also, you're welcome to ask me if you have questions. Obviously, it's not my book, so you can ask her too. But I did do the whole pattern for a small creation, and so I might have an idea of what it is that you're stumped on, and I might be more easy to get a hold of than her. So, of course, always feel free to ask me questions, and I'll do my best to help you guys. But anyway, I am going to jump right into the picture segments, where I'm going to show you guys what each of these patterns kind of look like. Not the patterns themselves, just the creations that you can make with the patterns. If you want the patterns, you got to buy the book. It's not my intellectual property, so I'm not going to be showing you any patterns. But I really recommend this book. I am extremely satisfied with it. I think it's one of the coolest books I've ever seen. It's just chock full of really cool, creative stuff. If you're a fantasy lover like I am, you are going to really love this book. Even if you never want to make anything out of it, maybe you're not big into amigurumi, this is just a cool one to have to look through and like to have on your shelf. I'm not going to lie. But if you're an amigurumi lover and a fantasy lover, you're going to want this. Trust me. All right, let's show you guys what's inside and show you guys what I made when we get to it. And jumping right into the table of contents, we have the cute critters section, which has Alcé the wingless griffin, an alicorn, a cockatrice, a dragon, a gargoyle, griffin, hippogriff, jackalope, pegasus, phoenix, unicorn, wolpertinger, and a wyvern, which is this page right here. And those are going to be your smaller sized creations. For your standard sized creations, we have a dragon, a kraken, a feathered serpent, an owl griffin, a phoenix, and a unicorn. So this first section that we're going into is the cute critters section. And the very first pattern is Alcé the wingless griffin. And next up we have the alicorn, which is a mix between a pegasus and a unicorn, so it's got wings. And then we have the cockatrice, which is basically a dragon or a wyvern that has the head of a chicken. And now we're coming up on this adorable little dragon. And we've made it to the item that I made, which is the small dragon. So there is a section for smaller makes, and then there's a section for larger makes. This is from the section for smaller makes, but it is the dragon from that section. I absolutely love how this came out. I really love the pattern. It works up beautifully. I used Big Twist Living Serenity for my main color, and Caron Simply Soft Party in Purple Sparkle for my off accent color. And I am super happy with how it came out. So I just wanted to give you guys a look at how the patterns kind of work up. And it was all really easily digestible as far as understanding the content. Understanding the pattern, and the only thing about it is there is quite a bit of sewing, so if you're not huge into sewing, then you may not enjoy making some of these patterns, because there's really no way to work something like this without a lot of sewing. But I am just super happy with how that came out. I love it. It's like a palm-sized dragon. It's like a little dragon baby. And when I was working it, I totally realized that you could use this to make a dinosaur too. Just leave off all of the wingy bits and it just looks like a cute little dinosaur, if you can imagine. So that is how my dragon came out. And next up we have a gargoyle, which I'm sure many of you have heard of. They are those little statues that you see on the corners of buildings. And then we have a griffin, which is a half eagle, half lion. Next up we have a hippogriff, which you actually may remember from Harry Potter. If you remember in the third movie when they saved Buckbeak, Buckbeak was a hippogriff. And then there is this little jackalope. And finally, we have the Majestic Pegasus. Next up, we have a phoenix, which you may also remember from Harry Potter. Dumbledore had a phoenix named Fawkes, who would burst into flames and then be reborn from the ashes. And now we have the very classic, but always magical and always beautiful unicorn. And then we have this crazy looking little thing called a Wolpertinger. And then we have the wyvern, which is basically another type of dragon. And then there is the little cute critters parts section where all the little bits and bobs can be found. And then we move into the standard sized creatures. These are the big boys. The first one being this absolutely stunning dragon. I am so excited to make this. I am absolutely going to have to make this. I need this. Is this not beautiful? The dragon has a huge section. It's all of these pages right here with like different ways that you can do your dragon. So super cool. And then we have the Kraken, which you may remember from Pirates of the Caribbean. And honestly, a lot of things. It's this giant sea monster that like has these big tentacles and can like come up and grab the ships and pull them down below. And then we have this feathered serpent. And the owl griffin. And like the dragon, there is a bigger, more beautiful, standard-sized phoenix. It is absolutely magnificent. Look at this thing. I want to make this too. So gorgeous. And in kind, here is the large version of the unicorn, looking very majestic. And at the end of this book, there is a little coming in the fall thing. And look at these cute little crochet impkins. Oh my gosh. And that's all, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed this book look and that it gave you a little more insight into what you can expect to find in this book. Let me know down below what you thought of the book look, and I hope you have a great day. See you on the next video, and if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that little notification bell.